Hi there, Tin from Kaon. Today we are installing door card replacements and rear door table for the 70 series. These fit the Wagon and the Troop carrier, the 76 and 78. Because this rear door table kit has replacement cards, the first thing we want to do is remove these original door cards. Now this car is pristine, so we want to use a plastic pry tool. If you don't care about your car, just use a screwdriver. Work in from the corners there, just find out where those plastic clips are. There you go. And there you go. Get this one off. Work our way around. Now you want to do it on both sides because we replace both the door cards. There you go. Beautiful. I didn't break anything. On the smaller side, we have the handle we need to remove. Now, grab yourself a screwdriver. We'll get that screw out. Now, the way to get this off is to actually push towards the car. Now, that just pops out, so I pushed it that way. Now, it's attached on the inside there. There's a little green clip. Now, what you want to do, pull it towards yourself, just unclip it, and you should be able to just drop that down. A little green clip, just unclip it, drop it down. Now that's free. Just go around with your pry tool and unclip it all. Work your way around. Done. The next thing we need to do is install the M5 nutserts in the door so we have something to attach to. Now we provide this M5 nutsert tool, and it's a really nifty little tool here, and the way it works is it allows you to pull and set the nutsert. And the way it does that is we've got a bearing on here and we've got the nutsert up against the bottom of this nut here. So what we want to make sure is we have more friction on the face of this nut so that it doesn't spin and it actually pulls. So a little tip, I like to wind the M5 nutsert onto the pulling bolt, grab it with a set of pliers and just nip that up. What that does is that tightens that nutsert onto that surface there, less likely to get it to spin. Now we've got that ready, we'll insert it in the car and set the nutsert. We're going to set this M5 nutsert in these holes where the clips were. Now we'll insert, or grab yourself a 14mm spanner. I like to use a ring spanner. Place it in there, grab your Allen key, and what we're going to do is we're going to start tightening. Now, because there's a bit of clearance in the hole, we have to wait until it pulls up and centers itself in the hole. We want to keep it as square and up against the door as possible. I can feel it closing up now. So we want to tighten it up until we can feel everything nice and snug. So that one, you can feel it tightening up, and that's about where I want to be. That's all tightened up. Now we just undo it. And we've got a beautifully set M5 nutset. Now I'm going to cheat and use a tool for the rest of them. So I'll go ahead and put the M5 nutsets in all the rest of the holes around the outside. Cool, that's fast. There you go. So on the small door side, we're only inserting 4 nutsets. So this hole, the 2 holes on the top, and the 2 holes on the bottom. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, now we're ready to get the door cards ready, and we'll install the door cards on the door. Okay, the big door card. We have to do a little bit of preparation, and the first thing we need to do is make sure we have it the right way up. So we want to have it so that the rolled edges are down and the threaded section is pointing up. So rolled edges down, threaded section pointing up. We also want to grab our hinge brackets. Now there's a left and a right, and they're slightly different. The little raised threaded sections actually sit inside these slots. So that's the left and the right with the holes on the top on each one. So that's the correct orientation. So what we're going to do now is we're going to grab our little M5 domed head bolts, So grab your little M5 washer and we'll get that installed. Just be very careful winding these bolts in because you want to make sure you don't cross thread these little M5 threads. So nice and square, and just wind them in. I'm not tightening them all the way down just yet. Now on this right hand side there's 3. On the left hand side there's only 2. The bottom one serves a dual purpose. We'll attach it with the actual bolt that bolts it to the door. Okay, left hand side, just 2. So we just got 2 on this side. The one on the bottom is going to be held in place with the actual bolts that hold the card to the door. We got the brackets nipped up. Now to make life easier, I'm just going to start pre-installing the bolts. So we've got the countersunk dress washer on the M5 bolts there. So I'll just put that through, and then we need another spacer on the other side. So we're using another dress washer, and you can just push those on, they should hold in place. So we'll go around and do all of those. This one in here goes over the bracket and the door card. It's 10 altogether. Okay, last one, and then we're ready to install this on the car. Okay, we can attach the door card to the door now. So we'll just wind that in. I'm just going to get a couple in first so I don't have to hold it. And we'll just line these ones up as well. Go around and tighten them all, make sure they're lined up first before we go around and tighten them all down. Got all those ones started now, so I'll just go around and tighten them down until they're almost home. And then there's a little bit of adjustment, so we'll just make sure all the gaps are good before we tighten all those up. You want to do this fairly evenly. It's looking really good. Okay, now it's almost time. I just want to check the gaps. That's pretty good actually. Okay, I'm going to go around and tighten them all up. Now the next thing we'll do is we'll actually prep these brackets here. There's a little rubber stopper that goes in there and the bungee cords on the side. So we'll do that first before we actually attach the table. Make sure they're all tightened. Okay, how good does that look? Done. Okay, we've got the small door card. Now we have to prep it and just to make it easier to install. So I'm going to pre-install the bolts. Got the countersunk M5 bolts. Now make sure you get the right side. We want the rolled edge to roll inwards. I'll put the dress washer on and I'll put another dress washer on the back because I need it as a little spacer. So I'll go around and do all 4 of those. Now what we'll do next, after I get all these on, is we'll reinstall the handle that's on this side. Now the easiest way to reinstall the handle is actually put it on before you put the door card on. So grab your handle, you got the little green clip, the wire in there, and clip it back in place. Now it's in place, grab the door card, we can twist this and get it through the hole. Actually I'll twist this. Get it through the hole, twist it back. What we'll do first is we actually get your little M3 tool, Allen key tool, and I'll just get these started. Make sure we get them all started. Beautiful. Okay. So a little bit of adjustment in them. So I'll just get them nipped up. As we're starting to snug at home, just checking all the gaps. This black looks really good on this red. Nice textured finish as well on the powder coat. And we don't want to go too crazy, so we just want to nip all these up, tighten them until they feel nice and firm. So I'm really happy with that. And the next thing to do is to reinstall this handle. So push it to the right, push it back to the left. That hole should line up. And there you go. What do you say? It looks better than factory. I'm going to install the cords coming in from the bottom, just in from, and then back through the top again. And we'll just tie this off. You can use a fancy knot, but I'll just use a granny knot. Just need to stop a knot to stop it from pulling through. We'll do that on both sides. And that means that will be ready for us when we install the table. Grab the table and you've got your M8 button head. You've got a little M8 washer as well. Now the washer goes in between the table and the bracket. So let's do this. I'll put the bolt in, the washer, and then into the bracket. We want to do that on the other side too. Once you've got the two hinge bolts in, I like to get the string in place. Paracord also come in from the inside and just weave it over and under. We can adjust it later to make sure everything is nice and level, but that makes it easier for me to get the nuts on to the hinge bolts. So we'll grab the nylock nuts and we'll get those on as well. So you'll need a 12mm spanner and an Allen key as well. Okay. We want to tighten these up and get them fairly firm, but we'll adjust it for the sort of feel and friction you want for when we open and close the table. So there you go. I like it a little bit firmer than that. There you go. We've got our nylock nuts on the hinge bolts and we've got our tension nice. Good opportunity now to adjust your paracord to get your table level. So a little bit low, so I'll just adjust that. Okay, happy with that. While you're there, we can install the bungee buttons. Grab your M5 domed head bolt, put it through the bungee button, back through the bottom there. Nylock nut, M5, tighten that up, do both sides, and we're almost done. Now we want to check that everything closes up, so tighten up with the bungee cord. That looks good, all the brackets are closing up nicely. Once we've done that, we go back and tighten these ones because we only nipped them up before. Now that everything is installed, I want to go ahead and tighten those. Now, don't go too crazy on these two, just make sure they're nice and firm. Okay, there you go. Rear door table installed. We got the table in and the door cards. Now there's a couple of extra accessories you might want to consider. One of the most popular ones is the chopping board. This one just clips in place, no rattles. I'll show you that with the clips. And it folds away as well. Now we've also got our pods. Now this is the large one, and this one would suit this side. Now the door card here is aluminium, so you can drill those and attach those really easily. So if you want to go for that extra storage option on the smaller door, you've got the pods there. So there you go, all installed, door card and rear door table for the 70 series.